Welcome back everyone to a Silver Legacy Cobra Kai Season 6 WatchParty! If you were in a Disney movie and said magic mirror on the wall, who's the baddest of them all? Without a doubt, that mirror is showing you Terry Silver. Now in the timeline, Terry Silver's Season 6 adventures actually began months earlier in Bangkok, Thailand. Though he had court cases against him, apparently he was allowed to travel internationally. You know, being rich, he may have been able to avoid some of the frustrations of overseas travel. Now, one challenge in part 2 is very annoying people on a plane. And with the holiday travel season coming up, ignoring these people can be a whole lot easier if you already have your favorite Netflix shows, like Cobra Kai, saved to your personal computer. Tune the idiot out and watch something cool instead. Enter the world of StreamFox. Now, StreamFox is conversion software that lets you transfer shows from Netflix to your hard drive. It actually works for all the major platforms. I just load up the episode I want and click on the arrow. Vroom. You can do a whole series at once too. Like I'm gonna miss any of that? Come on. And now that it's a file on your local computer, you can use it for editing. All the Season 6 Part 2 content in this video I got with StreamFox. So give it a try and make your own fan content. Link in the description down below. Since Season 4, Terry Silver has only gotten bigger and bigger as the show's villain. So much that in a recent interview, the creators even acknowledged that role.
And that he's, been the biggest bad that we've had on the show, the most unpredictable.
That's an important admission. Since Season 2 and certainly Season 3, Kreese has lorded over the role of big bad villain of the series. Except with his arrest at the end of 4. And then Silver's return now in Episode 8, Kreese has been pushed to the side. Truly, Terry Silver is the biggest danger to our heroes, even more so than Kreese. Now what this means for Kreese going forward, I'll discuss in another video. Let's focus on the sky-high legend, Terry Silver. We really have to take the totality of his appearances in the show and lay that out to see where his story ends up. And back in Bangkok, Silver meets Sensei Wolf and strikes up a very old school deal for revenge. The Iron Dragons win and humiliate Miyagi-Do, then he gives Sensei Wolf his dojo back. Now I love Terry Silver as much as anyone else, but this whole task seems a little unnecessary. He points out that they're the defending champions and have an automatic spot in the Sekai Takai. So isn't it reasonable that they would just have won the tournament and humiliated Miyagi-Do anyway? It's long established they're the ultimate champions of the karate world, so they're just gonna win. What exactly is Terry Silver doing or contributing? The best answer I have is that Silver just wants to attach himself to the dojo and be a part of that victory. The only way he can do that is money. This is very much in line with what I predicted before Part 2 came out. The only thing left resolved is what happens after the Iron Dragons win. But more importantly, there are a few clues to Silver's mindset and his possible mortality. Consider his reply when the sleazy lawyer brings up his old associate.
I just don't want you to go on a downward spiral and end up in the morgue like your brother Snake.
We'll all end up there someday.
This is a man who doesn't fear death. He views it as an inevitable conclusion. He's seen people die and now shrugs it off, even if they were close to him. Now, certainly various people sometimes take that philosophy, but look what happens when the word legacy is brought up.
Come on, Terry, you buying another dojo? Think about your legacy.
Legacy? Those sons of bitches ruined my reputation. They took the one thing left in the world I cared about.
Okay, so this is a continuation of what Silver was talking about in Season 5. He was discussing his legacy with Kim Da-Eun, and he believed Cobra Kai would be that legacy. So he views his defeat and ruined reputation as having that ripped from him. Now his legacy is gone, no more. It's in ruins and cannot be recovered. But what he said after is of the most interest.
If I'm going to hell, I'm taking them down with me.
He says that as if it's a sure thing. It's like he already bought this one-way ticket. There have been rumors that Terry Silver may have some sort of terminal illness, and that seems to only be amplified here. When we first saw him in Season 4, he had various medications on the table that he was taking. There were others in his bathroom. Now, we thought some of it may have been psych meds to help with his PTSD and whatever other issues he has. However, some may have been for possibly a deadly disease or something else debilitating. When Johnny and Carmen were at the hospital, so was Silver. What was he doing there? Doesn't look like a charity event here. He must have been there for some sort of checkup or examination. What were all those medications doing? When he fought Chosen, he openly claimed he didn't fear death. He may even welcome it. He viewed himself as a warrior and wanted a death suiting to that. Putting this all together, we can gather that Terry Silver has accepted his death and accepted that he doesn't have the ability to regain his legacy. All he wants now is a little revenge before he goes. Now, it doesn't look like his death is imminent. He's still smoking cigars and fighting in tip-top shape. Hard to believe this is a guy who's so sick he's on death's door when he can still take out Kreese. So whatever is making him sick, it is still at an earlier stage or something that doesn't affect his ability to operate and fight, but it is still there. A lot of people will react differently to Kwan's death at the Sekai Taikai. One person who is likely to be unfazed by the whole thing is Terry Silver. Ultimately, Silver had no connection to Kwan, and his death is kind of a footnote. Only because Kwan was fighting Axel when he died is there any sort of overlap. But even then, Kwan mostly killed himself. Axel had nothing to do with it, so it's not like the Iron Dragons are responsible. The point is, Silver made a deal with Sensei Wolf, revenge, in exchange for ownership of the dojo. That deal isn't going anywhere. In the preview footage, we see Robbie fighting Axel in a new Sekai Taikai. They're certainly still being pressured to win, or Axel gets it. It's sort of funny to think about that maybe Sensei Wolf smacking Axel around is because he is extra eager to get his dojo back. There's even more pressure than normal. That would in turn make Silver responsible. I tend to think that's not the case. Wolf is just a semi-hard ass. He's the Diet Coke Johnny. But still, this will be a lot of Terry Silver's motivation in part 3. It all comes down to revenge. He's the sort of guy who obsesses with it. Revenge. The question will be, is the Sekai Taikai enough? What if the Iron Dragons lose? That could be possible considering, it's the end season. Would Terry Silver really go quietly off into the sunset? He really wouldn't be much of a big bad if he did. That would mean something more direct at Daniel and Johnny. Does he ally with Tom Cole to take out LaRusso Otto? I don't know if it would be so on the nose, but he's not letting the revenge get away from him. His first goal is for them to be embarrassed on the world stage. So if that's not happening at the Sekai Taikai, he needs to make it happen somewhere else. You remember he never stops playing the angles. He even attempted to get Kenny to join his dojo in the middle of the tournament. Now, he probably did genuinely like Kenny, and he saw in Kenny some true potential. The offer was genuine. He really wanted Kenny on his side. However, just because it was genuine doesn't mean altruism was his only motivation. He wanted to humiliate Daniel and Johnny. If their replacement fighters switched sides, they would look dumb. Honestly, Terry Silver forgot that Kenny would be going to school with the others, and such a betrayal would have some tough social consequences. He needed to offer more than just a better shot to win the tournament. Either way, Kenny turned it down, and Silver took it quite well. He has a certain respect for the kid. Not to mention, knowing Miyagi-Do advances here gives him a chance to be humiliated by the Iron Dragons later in the tournament, so it still plays into what he wants. Speaking of which, the sleazy lawyer mentioned Terry still has his yacht left. This very much feels like Chekhov's yacht. Will this come up and play a role in the finale? Maybe Silver is making his final getaway, leaving town before something big goes down. That would imply he knows someone is after him, and maybe he has a victory in there somewhere. The point is, Terry Silver's days are numbered and he knows it. He feels whatever he had to give to the world has been robbed from him. Charitable donations notwithstanding, he wants that revenge. Sweet revenge. He has the best fighters in the world to get it. If the Iron Dragons can't win at the Sekai Taikai, he may take matters into his own hands. Daniel beat him badly. Johnny stepped in and stopped him from beating Kreese. Those things matter the most. It is the difference between this revenge quest and the previous one. In Karate Kid 3, Silver's primary target for revenge was against Daniel LaRusso. Look, the 80s was a different time. Back then, a billionaire declaring a personal war on a 17-year-old was considered perfectly normal and believable. However, this time is different. Though he wants the Iron Dragons to win, he doesn't have any particular grudge or hate for Miguel, Sam, or any of Miyagi-Do. The kids are mostly irrelevant to him. He wants to see Daniel and Johnny lose. He wants Miyagi-Do to fail on the world stage, so they take the blame. Consequently, if they actually do win the tournament, it's still on, and it's getting even more personal. Terry Silver is capable of some unexpected attacks. Strike First is part of the Cobra Kai creed, and he isn't forgetting it. Everyone just has to be ready for the fight of their lives. The big bad is not going away easy. Check out the Ponytail Party Time collection along with authentic Watch Party shirts on the channel's store. I appreciate every purchase and your support. Have a great day. I'll see you at the next Watch Party.